I can't stop playing Fire Emblem Three Houses. It asks a lot of you, and each part must be managed both individually and as part of the whole. That can be intimidating, but when it all clicks together, it really clicks. Each piece feeds into the next in a rewarding loop where you get lost in the whole experience, not just in the minutia. Three Houses casts you as a mercenary who, while out on a mission with their father, runs into a group of teens under attack. You learn that they are students at Garrigmach Monastery, where each of them leads one of the school's 3 houses: Black Eagles, Blue Lions, or Golden Deer. At the behest of the church's archbishop, who definitely gives off nefarious vibes but is also a gentle mom figure, you end up becoming a professor and must choose which of the houses to lead. Your main role as professor is to instruct your students in matters of combat and prepare them for story battles at the end of each month. Battles in Three Houses feature the same turn-based tactical combat at the heart of the series, albeit with some changes. The classic weapon triangle is downplayed quite a bit in favor of combat arts, which have been altered somewhat from their introduction in Fire Emblem Echoes: Shadows of Valentia. Combat arts are attacks tied to a weapon type and can boost a unit's attack power at the expense of weapon durability. Some are effective against specific enemy types, like armored units, for example. It's the same complexity the series is known for, but less abstracted, making it easier to strategize without sacrificing depth.
That's the Golden Deer for you.
Some of the early game and optional battle maps are open spaces that don't require you to think too hard, especially on normal difficulty. But the story battles throughout feature a variety of map layouts that challenge you to consider where your units need to be, both in the next turn and several turns down the line. Many of them have different routes, enemies coming at you from multiple angles, optional treasure to chase, and other quirks that require you to split your party up or change their equipped classes to suit the situation. This is where things get exciting. After a few turns of cautious setup, you hopefully get to knock out tons of enemies as your plans fall into place. The depth of strategy in these elements really shines on hard difficulty, but especially so when coupled with Divine Pulse, a limited use ability. Divine Pulse allows you to rewind time in order to redo all or part of the battle, and it shows just how important unit placement and attack choice can be. Even a slight change can make or break the fight. It's also just a nice quality of life feature if you play on Classic mode, in which units who die in battles stay dead. You might still soft reset from time to time, but it's great to be able to fix a mistake right away. Battling, of course, is only one part of life at the monastery. The backbone of Three Houses is the monthly school calendar, and if you like organizing things, planning ahead, or school in general, this can be the most exciting part. On Sundays, you have free time you can spend in one of 4 ways: exploring the monastery, participating in side battles, holding a seminar to improve your students' skills, or simply taking the day off. Mondays are for instruction, which consists of selecting students from a list and choosing a few of their skills to boost. The rest of the week goes by automatically, with a sprite of the professor running along the calendar and stopping occasionally for random events or story cutscenes. It sounds a bit hands-off, but there's a lot to think about as it is, and the week-by-week rather than day-by-day structure keeps the story and unit progression moving at a satisfying pace. The predictable structure of each month and the fact that you can see the full month's schedule with events listed ahead of time gives you the foundation to make effective plans. All that time management can definitely be overwhelming, at least at first. You have to keep tabs on your students' skills and study goals, your own skills, everyone's inventory, and various other meters and menus while planning for the lessons and battles to come. But you're treated to a near constant stream of positive reinforcement as those meters fill up week by week and your students improve their skills. You're always moving toward the next thing, the next level up, the next skill you need to develop, the next month, and what may unfold.
Witness my power!
Like all recent Fire Emblem games, ensuring you're invested in your units and their relationship is the glue that binds the whole experience together. After spending time and effort to improve your character's strengths, you're not just satisfied when they win a fight, you're proud. As you work to develop relationships with your students and watch as their friendships grow with each other, you also get to see better results on the battlefield. And the more you invest in someone, both emotionally and through months of lesson plans and instruction, the more cautious you'll be about putting them in harm's way, and the more you'll work to come up with a solid battle strategy. As you unlock new support levels with different characters, you get cutscenes that flesh out the students and faculty more. For the most part, each support conversation is just a piece of who a character is, and as you slowly build support levels over time, you begin to uncover the full picture of each person. As a result, learning more about each of the characters and their place in the monastery is as much a reward for progress as the level bars that tick forever upward as you go.
Okay, I confess, I am scared of ghosts. The monastery is unnerving to me at night.
Every NPC is fully voiced in both English and Japanese, which brings a lot of life to the brief support conversations. Disappointingly though, the professor is silent. They aren't voiced, and they don't even have subtitled dialogue during conversations. Characters do, however, refer to the professor's personality and how they come across throughout the game, which is odd considering they mostly nod at things. This puts distance between you and the characters you're bonding with, and it's a missed opportunity in a game where the protagonist has an otherwise set look, personality, and backstory. It's not hard to like a lot of the characters, though. They draw you in with anime archetypes like the ladies' man, the bratty prince, and the clumsy but well-meaning girl, and surprise you with much more nuance under the surface. You might discover a character you thought was a jerk is actually one of your favorites, or slowly stop using a less-than-favorite character in battle.
Since you're so insistent upon telling me what my face should be doing, perhaps my blade can restructure your face with a more permanent smile.
Each house's campaign feels distinct, but not so different that one seems way better than the other. Every house has a mix of personalities and skills, and they all have their own advantages and disadvantages. Students from different houses can form friendships with each other too, and you can eventually recruit students from other houses to join yours. Rather than being repetitive, on a second playthrough, recruiting gives you access to different relationship combinations. You can see a different side to a character through a different set of support conversations. And while the overall setup of the game is largely the same across the three houses, each has its own web of B-plots, and the second half of the game will look very different depending on who you're with and the choices you've made. The first half concerns the church, its secrets, and the fact that the professor knows very little about their own identity. As the basic loop of each month pulls you forward, so too does the promise of learning the truth about something, whether it's why the archbishop wanted you to be a teacher in the first place, or who a suspicious masked individual is. After a 5-year time skip, you enter the war phase of the game. While the structure is the same, and you even instruct your units since you still need to train for battle, the focus shifts to house-specific stories. They involve a lot of hard decisions, with old friends becoming enemies, people you wish you didn't have to kill, and students who've changed either in spite of or because of your guidance. Late-game battles are especially challenging with higher stakes and multi-lane layouts that require a lot of forethought. Success in these battles is incredibly rewarding as you're seeing dozens of hours of investment in your students reach a crescendo, but they're bittersweet in context.
You were wide open.
When all was said and done, all I could think about was starting another playthrough. I was curious about the mysteries left unsolved, of course, but I also hoped to undo my mistakes. There were characters I didn't talk to enough, students I didn't recruit, and far more effective ways to train my units. A second playthrough treads familiar ground in the beginning, but after learning and growing so much in the first, it feels fresh too. That speaks to Three Houses' mechanical complexity and depth, as well as the connections it fosters with its characters. And whether you're managing inventories or battlefields, it's the kind of game that's hard to put down even when it's over.